think I had it set for 10 o'clock. This live took about 13 minutes, but the groceries got here and I wanted to bring them in. It's raining, so I put them away. So Julie breasting right now, and she should. She's been up since early, and it's good. It's nice to be home and be able to do things like this. Um, so a couple things to get into, obviously, this morning. One, and some of the bigger things, the price has taken the downward spiral. If you were watching over the weekend, I had a big concern. Like we were given a almost like a golden ticket to show us that we were actually going to go to the down direction, because not Binance in this case, but this was on Bitstamp for whatever reason. When none of the other exchanges that I watched on my charting that we do together, this came down here all of a sudden to 238 and kicked right back up in the same candle. Well, if you go across the board, these other ones didn't do this. So we speculated that these are actually going to come down after this resistance, and it formed like a head and shoulders, which unfortunately is exactly what happened. Now, we circled this range because that was the 244, but then we talked about if it broke through there, we back test here again. And the problem with this is if we break through this 238, then we've got the diagonal support, and this is why we overdrew that out. Just because that's where it could hit, because it had a resistance, back test through, back around, now back test over the top. Now, if we break through this, now all of a sudden you talk about the diagonal support, and if you're in here, MQ in the Telegram, Scotty Trades in here talks about this support a lot too, and we wrote this down. It's the 232.84 is diagonal support at the 61.8 fib. So that's something to pay attention to. You break through there, then all of a sudden you've come back through. And my biggest problem with this is that you come right back out of this box. And in my opinion, it's the biggest, most telling spot. And it's not based on the wick off. I did mine differently between the supply, the demand, distribution, going all the way back to the beginning of time. And I've based my principles off of this the entire time through XRP's history now. And it's never let me down before. And it's continuing to show exactly why it's so important. Right now, we are consolidating below this area, which means once we got back into my self-described demand area, we didn't have the buyers. They keep flipping back to sellers. And if that's the case, we're going to have to go back into the distribution box. And I don't really want to go there. Because we pulled so far down in that death wick, we can call it. And now that we're seeing possible double tops here, like, there's got to be some serious understanding that that's a possibility here now. Like, that's a possibility. So we don't want to be breaking too far down. Like, now what you're going to want to see out of this pattern is we really need some kind, and it might be a drop down to like here just to be able to see. Maybe we get some kind of artificial I don't know. But if we bounce down like this, maybe it is some kind of channel forming, but you're going to start to get dicey. The moment you come down below here and back into that $1.77 to $1.82 range, it can get very, very kick in the nut ass, if you know what I mean. I'm almost at the point now on all of these charts where if it goes down a little bit farther, I'm going to have to fully liquidate what I had before when I bought that gigantic drop and take the nice profit and wait for the drop to finish out. And I don't really want to do that again, but I will. I will. A perfect example is XRP in the chart coming through this area, because now we're going to have to represent this wedge. That's the problem. We've got to... This is going to suck. Because this is so already, like, to me, there's certain things that we don't even have to guess. Certain things we don't have to guess. We can already build off of what it shows us here. And we had an area in the 4 hourly, and I can make a case here, a very strong case. We came down through here with this big extending, huge liquidation candle, came back up, hit a resistance, back to support. Floundered around, so we had the support wick around to a resistance, so we go from support, never comes back down, hunts for the resistance in the area, comes back to support. So now it's already building me something here. This is the problem. So, and I like to go through these a little deeper. But we're going to build in together. The good thing is we're massively oversold in the stochastic in the 4-hourly. Massively oversold in the weekly. The daily is what we keep talking about, though. And I'll continue this discussion, but the daily is where we're just coming through neutral. Like we've got this oh man. Opportunity to be had, but the opportunity might have been had now. We talked about the opportunity to be had, possibly coming to 272. And on October 28th, we came almost up there. It ended up being about 269-ish. But at the top, we said 272. Where we could get sandwiched and stopped would have been this back test. And it's doing exactly what it needs to do for a breakdown. I hate to break it to everybody, but this is doing exactly what it needs to do to push us into mid-November, breaking down. I always talk about mid-November being the point because we usually drop at the end of October into November. In the beginning, it's never usually pretty, but we're building something good. It's just, I am not convinced we don't have to go down to that $1.77 to $1.82, maybe even worse. But let me go back to the other chart so we can finish on and elaborate on what we were talking about. But this was just where we had a 5-way breakdown and it ended up being like a bearish consolidation. Broke down in Binance, and I'll show you some information about Binance, why they seem to be leading in a lot of ways, the Bitcoin dropping at least to liquidate longs. And that seems to be what this is all about. We seem to have something building because of the possibility now of a rate hike. If they rate hike it, it's going to be hilarious. It'll be hilarious. And the only reason they're going to do it is to crash all markets. And then I believe in January, they would just cut rates again in an emergency fashion. So, but we've got the trifecta here, because if we come through here, and remember what we were just talking about, and make sure to hit that like button. I appreciate everybody tuning in. Like I always say, when the markets are crashing, people watch. When the markets are pumping, people watch. But when it's in that intermediate go down in between, when we're about to break down, like yesterday when we had all these warning signs, we talked about it during the live. Only 60 people stayed through my warning. Can you believe that? We started with 90 people and it ended up dwindling down to 60 people. I was so disappointed because everybody left, and now look what happens. And we talked about our concerns yesterday, but right when I flipped from, hey, we were bullish on this push, to now look at this head and shoulders forming this double top. We've got these bearish zones. Everybody left. 30% of the audience left. And I said it's ironic because once we have the big drop, or it starts to look like we're dropping hard, then everybody's going to come back because they trust what I say. You should trust it before the big drops too. Good morning. 10:20 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Monday, November 3rd, 2025. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. To put it in perspective, I had 51 people unsubscribed to my channel yesterday. I went from 47,190 something, or 170 something, down to 47,130. I think this morning we bought our way back a little bit, but that's just the truth. That's what happens. Hey, welcome into Tom's Army. Hope Botanicals Las Vegas. Good morning and welcome in for your first month with the emoji badge of me being abducted by aliens. That is so awesome. And that is my face superimposed on that emoji badge. FYI, I would not, open up the ears, I would not be buying anything right now. Period. Point blank, I don't care what it is. Don't care. There's a token I want to talk about that I had a quick run and dump, but it's something I'm looking deeper for the privacy tokens. I haven't talked about it publicly because I didn't want people to. I brought it up and asked the Telegram what they thought, but I had a nice little run and, a nice little pump and dump that I was able to make a little bit of money off of. But it's one I'm very interested in. And now that it's dumping again, I can talk about it. I didn't want to talk about it while I was having the rise. I wanted to talk about it once it started to have the fall, to see if anybody's heard about it. So this is a private token with the DApp. And it keeps that information private with the DApps and a little bit further. It's on the Oasis network. I don't know how many people have heard about it, but anyhow. But this is one that keep your ears open for this one. I'm going to keep it on the screen because the privacy tokens are becoming a big thing. This is at a very big downturn. It's very oversold in the weekly. Had a nice overzealous push up to clear out that topside liquidity. Now we can have that exacerbated drop. On the exacerbated drop is where I like to start to funnel. So we'll see another thing with that would be GCT Semiconductor Holdings. They've got big perspective of blowups next year in Q1 and 2. So the price will meet those expectations if and when it happens. But I'm not buying it yet. I'm just putting it out there because it's in that move of we had the big rise up so that we can hit that resistance, clear out topside liquidity. Just like with crypto, we said we knew we had to go to that 265 and back test. Now it's nut punching time. It's nut punching time. It's all an illusion. Thank you so much for the $5 donation and being in time zone for 6+ months with the XP Predictor. Unsubscribing is super. Insert offensive millennium word. I'm sorry I can't do that. This is a safe space with our new millennial friends. No. No, it's okay. It's okay, honestly. I used to get mad about it. I think I take pride in it now. I think I take pride just because you can truly see. But anyway, I've already wasted too much time talking about that. This isn't a pity party. I'm not a victim. I'm a winner, damn it. And this community's winners. We're positivity over negativity. So, getting back to this point. If we have to play back out, and this is just the beginning. We haven't even talked about the actual broadening wedge below it. Oh, God, no. This is the problem. So, support. Right after the big back up, support, resistance, support, resistance. Now we have a problem. A broadening wedge in this fashion only needs 2 hits on each side, which means if you got rejected here, you're going, and that, I'm telling you, that $1.77 to $1.82 area is so profound, which means it'll probably take this long to get there. So when is that? And it makes so much sense. Guys, if we do this before mid-November, it's going to be a spectacular and glorious occasion. We need this to go down. I'm almost considering now selling everything that I've gotten at historically good deals because what melts up has to melt back down. When we see the long tail of the wick, a lot of times, if we get the double top, so it's just something, guys, listen. Everybody who worries about the inverse Jim Cramer, because everybody's talking about this with Jim Cramer, he may have said that, but the only way the inverse Cramer thing works is when he tells you to buy something. If he tells you not to buy it because he doesn't think it's going to $10 by the end of the year, and everybody starts buying it, don't you think you just became top end? Think about it, folks. Think about it. Even in our wildest dreams, XRP can't hit $10 by the end of the year. It can't even hit probably 5 or 6 by the end of the year. He's telling you it can't hit $10. Where do you think all this tops? Hey, everybody. I've seen this circulating all through social media, but I won't talk about it. They all said, hey, the inverse Jim Cramer thing, so we should buy XRP because it's guaranteed or it's going to hit $10 by the end of the year. They need liquidity right now. It's beautiful. They do this sometimes, guys. They do this. It's an op. It's an op. You got to put things together because when he said it, did they not just say that there's a possibility of a rate hike as well? And they're putting that through the news? Think. We're getting into the transition for the last part of quantitative tightening, and it ends December 1st. Think. Wouldn't they dump the market before? That's why I said during the rate cut, I said this, everybody's going long, but this is where I think they would just drop the market one last time. Why not flush all this liquidity? And we had to go back up to create the liquidity to flush out. This is going to get, and we're too high right now for what's going on. When this resets in 8 hours, oh, this is going to be way different. You're going to see a way different tone here. This is where we could start pushing lower fear into extreme fear. Not today, not tomorrow, but in the next couple of days, you're going to see this go from 42 to probably in the 20s in a quick fashion. Because you're going to get a lot of long liquidations when everybody says, oh my God, we had these historic liquidations. How can we possibly keep dumping? And my comment section is filled, especially on Facebook, with XRP doesn't do anything but go down. It always goes down. Well, let's go see if XRP in fact always goes down. And a year over year from 1 year ago today, we are sitting at $2 and let's just say 39 cents right now. It's November 3rd. I want to see if the claim that XRP always goes down, I want to make sure this is right. So look, November 4th, which means we were a little bit lower on November 3rd or maybe a little higher, who knows. It was sitting at 51 cents. Yeah, my eyes are working. It's my one eye. It says November 4th, 2024, the price was at, on the bottom of the wick, 51.17. Huh. Hold on, let me ask a quick question. Let's make sure that this is checking out. Nope. Sorry.
No matter how smart we think our algorithms may be, to me, market data.
Oh.
Put it into melody and visualize the shape of it. That's what we're choosing next.
Okay, I'll make a note of that in my memory. In case you wanted to save this as a custom instruction, you can manually add that.
What the hell does that mean? Okay, I guess we're gonna go to we'll go to the Flash. The Flash is better when you do this. I hate AI. I hate it sometimes because you can't. There's a point to this. Before everybody leaves, there's a point. From, oh my God, how stupid AI?
That's a great question. In fact,
it's not a great question. $5,100 in savings. November 3rd, 2024. What is it worth today? Factoring inflation. Oh wow, I spelled it all wrong. That's funny. Oh, I did see the liquidity. I did see the liquidity that the Fed injected. We're going to talk about that today too, because that, with all drops before we have the overage, we should be able to see. So we're gonna have a move at some point. So adjusted value would be $4,941.90 would be what you have today if you put $5,100 in your bank account.
this is a calculation of the change in value of an XRP investment over 1 year, from November 3rd, 2024 to today, November 3rd, 2025. To determine the value, we need the price of XRP on the start date and the price today. 1. Determine XRP prices.
They use $2.50 or 56 cents, not 51 cents. So they used the higher end of the range. And it says $21,947 it's worth today. It's a lot better than my savings that would be worth $4,900 today, but I guess the price never moves. So it's always funny. So price always moves or never moves for XRP. We hear it all the time. Oh, what the hell? It had that little pull down while I was talking. Of course it did. I was waiting for that drop across the board. Of course. I go into my little 2-second thing and I missed that wick. I wanted to see this happen in real time. That's exactly what we were talking about. I said don't buy in real time for a reason. We're getting to that point. Everything is. Look at this. Now we're going to get that real quick back test of this drop where everything, unless it's just going to fall through. But hey, at least I have my conscience clean. I came on and told everybody not to buy anything. So, but it's happening right now. Everything's starting to fall through. Damn, it's all falling through. This sucks balls. It's happening right before our very eyes. This is exactly what we were talking about when we started. It never fails. It never fails in crypto. Yep, I agree, Ken. We're on our way down. That's why I said everything, and I have sell orders on stuff. Limit, they're all sold. They're all set up. So some of my stuff, I gotta go look at some of the numbers. Some of my stuff could have wholesaled out now, which is gonna suck. But it had a volatile wick down, so we'll see on something. Well, not on IOTA, I wouldn't have. That's I have to do myself. But we're gonna get these back tests now. We're gonna see how. So IOTA, if we get rejected at 12.95, that's a problem. But we're going to get the volatile back test now for XRP. If we get rejected, just first area that stands up is that 238 zone now. This could get brutal really quickly. I mean, really quickly. Band's 14% down. Yeah, but this could get ugly. This could get ugly. Next support's 40.5 cents. The wick down is at 32. The market has to drop to rid the weak hands and get to the next level. I don't believe in that there's weak hands. I just think it goes after liquidity. Melamania. I think we just put fancy titles on things just because it makes us feel better about holding. They're grabbing liquidity both ways. It's all about mind. It's all about the framework, the setup. But this whole thing is just it's an interesting thing we're doing here. Because we're going to end up getting into severely over-tugged areas where we are massively on the downturn. The problem is who knows where they bring us. Who knows with all of these. You don't know how low they're going to try to bring this. I certainly don't know what they're going to do, where the starting point's going to be. That's why I'm almost under the mindset of, you know, you want less and less stuff you're holding now. Like, I used to be under the mindset, like, I want to have 10 different, well, I used to start off with just XRP, but as I had more of I would want to have different things. I'm thinking less is better. Like, I like XDC. Obviously, I like the 3Xs, XRP, XLM, XDC. But I'm almost thinking beyond that. Like, on the one side, I like IOTA. On the other side of this whole thing, I like Algo. And then it's almost like, what do I really need? Do I really need Dent? Do I really need Band? And I like Band. And I like Dent, but it's like, do I really need them? Linea's just, hey, it's part of the copy trade, and that's just some kind of case study we're doing. If it goes down 80%, well, too bad. I mean, that's part of the study against XRP when it came on. So, I mean, that's the way it goes. Over time, it'll improve, but... So I'm starting to look at capital so I can invest a larger chunk into the things that I'm more certain about. Not just... Like, I'm almost willing, because I'm up a decent amount on a lot of this, to just go, hey, you know, I like you, Dent, but, you know, at a certain point, it's just enough. So you're gone, you know, and I think that's what's going to happen. And then that can be dropped further into an XDC if it drops out and it gets liquidated. And then when I buy back, it'll be further pushed into stuff like that. And that's what I'm kind of thinking that way now, because crypto's becoming a zero-sum game. And I always told myself when it became a zero-sum game, you go back to the 3Xs and then a few others. And we're becoming a zero-sum game. And there's nothing wrong with making it a little bit less risky within your own holdings, because at a certain point, and I'm not saying we're not going to fly up. We're going to have there's going to be massive returns. I'm just saying there's a way to navigate through all of this, and kind of lower the risk, because we're not done. This just tells us we're gonna have a bigger drop on top of this. That means that we're in wave 3 of a 5-wave correction. That's whoever said that is 100% on the money. That's the problem with all of this. Not breaking or breaking down now it's a disaster. Because now we validated the whole bearish thesis here. And that sucks. You know, it sucks. Because now we have to finish this off. We have to either go to 98K for Bitcoin or 92. So that's just the way it goes. So I mean, I wouldn't be buying anything. I would actually, if you have profit in things, like I've been saying, I generally, those areas where you have the line in the sand, and I can't tell you the line in the sand. I can just tell you a lot of mine came through the line in the sand. So now it's like, the reason I brought up Dent and Band is they sold off now. And there's nothing I can do. They already sold off. So I can't just, so now I have to come to the conclusion of, do I buy those back at any time ever? And it's like, I don't know anymore. I don't know, because it's at the time in the whole thing with crypto where I told myself less is better as far as what you're exposing yourself to. And I hate to say that, but there's a real possibility that I may never hold those assets again. Because as it constricts, I have a very profound way of doing things, and it's like, you got to stick to your plan. You've got to stick to your plan. So it's like there's going to be a lot more capital made for XDC and some other things. I can tell you that much. And that's the truth. That's the truth. And like, I'm not a financial advisor, and I don't pretend to be one, but looking at all the exchanges, look at how volatile the pricing is now. You're looking at all of it. I went through 4 exchanges just looking at it, even ones I don't use, on Coinac and all these. And there's a lot of volatility on these exchanges right now. They are liquidating the longs in such a profound fashion. It is mind-boggling right now. When you come to leverage, I've warned my community time and time and time and time and time. And the more I warn, the more people want to leverage. It's amazing. I know everybody's starting to see this. The more I talk about it, the more people like tell people not to, the more they think it's like an invitation to try to do it and, you know, prove that we can beat the system. We're not beating the system. Over time, in my experience, everybody loses. Everybody. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. Well, there is something wrong with it. It sucks. But it's just something that happens, you know, and over time we just have to understand, like, they're here for it's just like the casinos. I talk about it all the time. It's just like the casinos, ladies and gentlemen. They play the casino. They have everybody going. We want to have more money than we have, more money than we, you know, we start to get greedy. And the casinos know this. And you know why it's not important to the casino? All they're doing, they're just sitting there. They're a neutral party. They don't have to do shit. They just sit there. And that's how it goes. They just sit there. And now, if you're in the market, they can sit there and they can do whatever the hell they want. But they're waiting for people. I'm going to use leverage. I'm going to do this. And they let people get in their own way. And then even if you have positions, you end up losing your positions. And just looking at this, it's a tragedy. Because I often say, if I was a market maker, how would I do this to fully liquidate the audience, or fully liquidate the traders? Exactly what they did. I would have come up to the drop point where we had the 5-wave breakdown, have it come right up to that back test that area. I would have done exactly what they did, is the scary part. That's what sucks. I would have done exactly what they did, to the T, because you get more people that want to buy when it's like that. You just get more people that want to buy. Because you get the over elevation. And it was very obvious when we had the weird, I don't know, it was weird when we showed the disparity between like the fear and then it started pushing back into neutral so quickly. It's like, do people not understand? Like, I'm not judging. I'm just saying, like, I'm guilty of it too, watching it. But that's why we always are like, hey, listen, this is a problem right now. And that's why yesterday in the title, I was all my stuff is basically sold out. Like, I just went through all these exchanges. Almost every single thing that I put the limit on, it busted right through them. Because I had bought the big drop. So, like, Like XRP, what I hold, I don't touch. What's left, just like XRP Healthcare, because I already had made such a big gains on both of them with other stacks. But other than that, it's pretty crazy what's happening right now. And I'm okay with it. I'm actually okay with it because now I'm going to downsize. I've been thinking about it for a while. I've already done it a lot, but I've been thinking about it even deeper. Because then I'm going to go deeper into some of the ones that I like even more. I think this needed to happen because I think now everybody's going to walk away. Because we need that moment where everybody's like, you know what? Crypto's not worth it. We're getting that moment, not for me. Oh, it's worth it. But it broke down out of all of these. Like, I set up the short pattern so you would know where my thinking was with a lot of this stuff. But I don't know if we're just going to have the profound just breakdown now or if it's going to continue up. But I can tell you right now, unless something changes, I've definitely... And I'll go back and visit these, but I've definitely... I gotta think. I gotta think about what I actually want to hold going forward because we had massive profits from that drop. And now I've got to sit on those returns, even though it wasn't the top of what it could have been because I waited for the make it or break it level, which unfortunately right now it looks like we're on the bottom side and we're going to actually do those last two waves down. We're going to have some kind of volatility to the top side. Don't think it's just going to go right down. Well, it might. Who knows? Because that, I mean, we came up and rejected. The daily's got a lot of room down, so that's a problem. Oh, mid-November is exactly what I remember. But I also know that the drop that comes, because we have a double top, if this formed, I'm not saying I'm not holding crypto. I'm saying I'm downsizing on the amount, the variety. The variety. But I can't help if I had limit orders on the way down so that it can, you know, when it comes back down below certain areas. Carter says, Tom, I've been profit. Do you think I should take profit at this point or hold off for this drop? I honestly, I mean, there's a big head and shoulders forming. I keep saying this with everything. Like, there's a possibility XRP in the worst case scenario, and I don't think it's going to happen now. But what if we had worst case scenario, and because they do a rate hike and all these factors, we go to war, whatever the case may be. But we're overextended in these markets. What if we come back and fill a gap? And I've brought this up a million times. That's why it's on my chart. What if we fill a 10.2 cent gap on XRP that we never filled from the low that we put in the rise out when we had the lawsuit announced in 2020? That's an area that's always been a concern to me. The fact we, after breaking out of this, never volatilely came back down at all. We just... But I don't think that's what's happening. But if this is a big head and shoulders pattern... I'm just saying, guys, expect the unexpected, and I am more liquid than I've ever been since before that big drop. And it wasn't by choice. I had limit orders that came through at some point on almost everything I held, but not on XRP because I already had. You guys know the story with XRP. That 34-cent bag, unless it proves to me that it's going to come back down and break that level, I don't care about selling it because I bought more at 38, 5 grand worth, sold it all at 3 to 350 for the most part, and sat on serious profits from the crypto market. I don't need to sell any more crypto in that regard. But, and then we've had good profits. Like, we had the foresight to get out of the way before the first big drop. I showed everybody the levels to set all these up if you had bought in and came out. Linea's a different story, and I told everybody who was in that copy trade. Unfortunately, that's a case study, and there's not much we can do about this. We're going to have to ride this up and down, left and right, and over the years, we'll see what happens. That's the only one, unless we want to sell it out at 114, but I'm under the impression here that with Linea, because it's going to take a long time, and if it comes way down, I'll just keep buying, like, oh, it comes down here, I'll buy $1,000 more. It comes down here, I'll buy $1,000 more. It comes down here, I'll buy $2,000. You know, that's just the impression I have there. I have money stacked to the side for Linea. I wanted to have 6-7 grand in it. But I don't know, man. This whole chart looks like ass now because it broke down to the bottom side. This is what we were worried about with everything. And it's amazing. I love it. Thank you, everybody, for being in here today. 176 people. I'm not saying, I don't even know if this is going to end at an hour, this live. This is going to be one of those lives where we might be on for a little bit. My son's at school. It's raining outside. I've already done my workout. I can't eat till 12 because I fast 16 hours a day. But we got to see where this goes. Now, what's the caveat here? What's gold and silver doing? Remember, I invested in XRPN, so there could be lower opportunities here now. Which that's another thing. Like, I've actually looked at it in the stock market and said, well, if crypto is going to have this big dive, couldn't I get this a little bit cheaper? Which I think I can. So I could theoretically sell it for a small gain, which I'm probably going to do, and just keep all that liquid too. Because if crypto is going down, this is certainly going down. That's the beauty of the stock market. I'm not tied to, like, I'll have like $25 I'll have to do in taxes on this move. I'm okay. So yeah, that's what I mean though. You downsize the risk, because right now risk on looks like it could be a problem. But not forever. Like, this is the distinction point. It's not forever. Like, everybody's going to look at this and be like, we're done. We're toast. Maybe for the short term. But come mid-November. But as I've been preaching, mid-November should give us some kind of balance and seed a direction. And if it doesn't push to the upside, my understanding is Q1 and 2 of 26 should be a lot better from what I'm seeing in the charts. But this, we're overextended. It's the only thing I can say. Like, Bitcoin doing what it's done and all of this, everybody who's in it, it just reeks that this is a kick you in the nuts to retail. Like, I've been trying my best to be like, hey, listen, we have opportunity, but once we get to 265, that opportunity might end. And then you have to have your sell points, and that goes across the board. Because you want to take profit. The number one thing is take the profit. Take the profit. And it's like, I had to listen to myself. I bought XRPN at $10.26. And it's like, I bought 1,000 shares. It's not that I want to sell it. It's just, I had to come to the rationale. If everything's going down and it's based on X, so I just sold it. I made $11. And I'm not selling it the same day, because you don't want a same day hit. You know, because the 3 and but anyhow, this whole market, and we should get some kind of flexibility to the upside now, maybe. But I mean, that head and shoulders played out. That top 1, 2. This was a big giveaway. To me, that was a giveaway on that exchange. I don't know why they did it. But look what Binance is doing too. I shared this on Facebook. Make sure you follow me on Facebook. XRP Future Millionaire. Notice it's spelled correctly. I have 7,900 followers. I don't know, 7,945. Been stuck there because they don't promote me on Facebook. Even though my page says it's in good health, they refuse to recommend me. It says I'm banned from recommendations. Shared this stuff about what David Schwartz said. But look, this is Binance. So I put Binance appears to be aggressively influencing the price of Bitcoin, leading to the liquidation of long positions. Oh, fuck, I forgot it doesn't let me zoom in. How fucking stupid. That's the one thing I hate about Facebook. Oh, excuse me, I didn't mean to swear, but all those Binance purchases. Let me see if I can go into my photos. I don't know why it does this. It glitches so bad when I'm doing my live. When it's sideways, it will not let me open it on Facebook. It's so weird. Watch the internet exchanges go down when the markup happens. Crypto is taking all my gold money left. Yeah, that's the other part of this. Like, I like to have bigger and bigger reserves of liquidity too for when this happens. But yeah, gold and silver, commodities, everything it's to the downside. That's why I took a lot of profit. Well, not a lot. I put $28,000 to the side that I was in, but I still have hella mining shares. 1,000 Fortuna, Hecla, First Majestic, nothing in Silvercorp or Dolly Varden right now, as you guys know, because those are my speculative ones, so you have to get out of them. Pan America Silver, I think it's 300. And B2 Gold might be 300. I think both of those are the same amount. Oh, no, Barrett are the same amount at 300, I believe. And then B2 Gold is 3,000. I don't ever sell any of my bullion. So I speculate on the miners. But I don't think we're done yet. I just think we're going through the big downturn right now that had to happen. I think it's ironic, though. H-Bar gets its first little listing. It has a little bit of a pump, and now it's just imploding. Yeah, it's almost like it's by design. Let's go take a look at the liquidity pools, because what started to happen is we started to see in the heat liquidation map, it started to rev up down below again. Yes, we have liquidation above, but it started to give us some downward liquidation. Not now because we cleared out that little part, but lower there is. There's more lower now. But we have to go into higher charts to see it. It is nice that we cleared out that little bit that was left here now. Yeah, down here. This is the first area, 232. Did we hit 232? No, I don't think we did hit that zone yet. That's kind of a shame. But, I mean, you can clearly see a head and shoulders built. At least it formed down. Now we need to see if we can get a catch here. We need to see if the market can give a catch. That's what I want to see. I want to see if we can catch here. No, I mean, we came to 229, so we filled that 232. That's what I thought. That was on every chart, or was that just one chart? Yeah, 229. That makes sense. Now we could come back. Oh, man, we're on the bottom side of this. I forgot about this. Whoa, that's not good. If we can't get above 238, this is not good. That means the break up we were expecting would be the breakdown we're going to get. Oh, no. Yeah, see that? Oh. We don't even have to have the diagonal support anymore because that broke. We at least tapped it. Oh, buddy. It's like this. Oh, buddy. Let's just say we come over here and it's about... Oh, boy. I think that title yesterday was spot on for our live and what we were talking about. For anybody who skipped out on us yesterday. I put XRP major decision time. Will XRP break out to 272 or fall? Because it was literally at that point. And then today I said XRP hanging from a cliff. Will 232 holder? Is it a revisit to 177 or $1.82 on the horizon? CME gap was at 257. But again, if we don't fill that quickly, that can be used as the bearish catalyst to show that there is no upside strength. And we're going to use that as the next breakdown threshold. And then it'll just close on its own. I know you don't agree with Tom. Tom, what if you are not trading and just holding spot? Oh, you can hold. You don't have to trade. I'm just saying. It's at a point now where we're very top heavy with Bitcoin and it's very concerning. So, and just what we've done, you know, I'm always concerned when you have a big wick down and it's not filled back through. I am always concerned about that. But we don't have there's no, the three things that we need is the end of quantitative tightening, and it's not ended yet. It ends December 1st. We need rate cuts, right? But now there's the illusion of rate hikes in December, and if that happens, that'll just finish this off. I agree. $1.84 to a 220, a flash crash and markup. Textbook, exactly. I agree with that. That's why I wanted to have my capital condensed, because now I'm going to put it deeper into some of the things. I mean, deeper. Like that means probably six-figure token amount with IOTA. That means at least 200,000 tokens possibly on XDC. That might mean with XLM it bumps up to 30 to 40,000. I don't know. But I'm going to keep it very close to the vest this time. XRP, if it goes to the right spot, who knows if I buy more. John Boogathorpe, thank you so much for being in Tom's Army for over 1 year with the I Told You So Bad. Said, hello, Tom. Glad for your diligence. Looking forward to the opportunity. Me too. Me too. The only thing that I'm blessed about is you guys don't judge me too harshly for keeping it real, the ones who stay around. And that's the truth. That's the honest to God truth. Because it can get a little tedious, you know, going against the grain. It gets hard a little bit. Especially because a lot of the bearish talk, people started to feel a little bit more bullish because we had to push up. And it's like these are just classic retests for the proper rejection points. And it just, what ended up happening is a textbook example, and it sucks. Because it proves that they will always use market psychology against us. And for the ones, and it's not a, oh my God, you're an idiot. You're not, just for the ones, who have a problem more with the understanding of reading a chart. It's a lot harder to navigate through this space. I mean, it's I'm being so truthful. It's so hard. I'm trying to do something, but I can't remember what. I don't know the password on here for Julie's thing. I want to do something for the audience in this great time of doom, right? Everybody thinks it's doom, which this is really what we need. Mid-November, we should get directive. This is exactly what I would like. We talk about what I would do if I was a market maker, if I was the algorithm. This is if I was a trading algorithm, exactly what you're seeing is what I would do, because that's how you get the most amount of liquidity from the retail, while allowing the bigger players to maximize profit. Everybody's like, well, why did Michael Saylor? Why did he do? I don't understand. Why did Michael Saylor do this when the price seemed to have started topping? Michael Saylor, China's thing is just man. But MicroStrategy bought 397 Bitcoin worth 45.6 million. They do it the same way every time, right? They have to wait for the valuation to go up. So on that bearish retest, the valuation went up. So the banks and everybody are willing to loan more so he can get more capital. That's why he only buys at peaks and then it drops after. Because when he gets revalued, he can now get more Bitcoin. And that's a dangerous Ponzi scheme setup. Like if you've ever seen Ponzi, Uncle Ponzi, this is classic Ponzi. This is classic Ponzi to the extreme. Like to the extreme. It's pretty scary actually. Because, Ponzi comes and collects eventually. And you all know about Uncle Ponzi. When he wants to collect, he's going to collect. Oh, and he's going to collect. But this is just a thank you to 5 random people. As this is my side account, Dogecoin and Nude, when I used to do the Dogecoin and Shiba analysis at the same time with this channel. And it ended up getting a little following, but then I stopped doing it to focus more on my actual channel. But 5 gifted subs, so thank you to the audience. Sub Alpha and William, congratulations on your first month with the emoji badge and me being abducted by aliens. Crypto J, thanks for being in Tom's Army now for over 1 year with the I Told You So badge. Welcome back, my friend. Schwartzfigger, welcome back in the Tom's Army with 3+ months with the XRP Meteor. Dogbite, thank you so much for being in Tom's Army once again for your second month with the Dusty's Autos Crypto News. I'm glad that I was able to gift those subs. So thank you all for being loyal watchers. I can't choose who I do it to, nor can I gift them on my main channel. XRP Future Millionaire won't let me for some reason. So I have to do it like that. Eventually I'll have Julie type in her password on this tablet so that I can just use that. But anyhow, continuing on. After a 7.8% drop this morning, I see some questions about Epic, which is down. It's down 15.8% now. Wow. And I had my make it or break it point with Epic, and it was, I know everybody knows. They've been paying attention. And we wrote it up. I didn't take max profit after buying it back, but I said once it gets here, I can't hold it in good conscience because you just can't do it. You got to wait to see what's going to happen. And unfortunately, it's done exactly what it needs to do to break down. Everything has. We're oversold now, so now we could get that logical back test maybe. Maybe we get a little bit of a reversal, but it's not guaranteed because we already had that pushback up. So I don't know. We could very well fall through today. We're already down 15.7, so a lot of people will probably be buying the reversal. And Axelar does this every time as well, and we talked about why it was dangerous once it hit resistance. I mean, you got to take profit on things only because It seems to do this every time. Resistance down, resistance down. This almost looks like the same bearish consolidation we had before the drop down initially. Which means if it has to go all the way back down, you're looking at 6 cents. That's why it's very dangerous to buy all of this when it comes up. Algo's in your buy zone. Oh, I bet it is at 15.8 cents. But unfortunately, when you drop out of this consolidation, you're going to move all the way down from the consolidation. So it might be in your buy zone, but it's telling us that it's probably coming down to at least 12.5 cents at minimum. Now, if it gets a retest and it straggles out a little bit or it comes back in, well, that's one thing. But this is technically telling us that we're going to get this is a bearish breakdown, and we could be looking at sub 13, maybe working our way down. I don't suspect we'll make a new low, but you never really can tell. Mrs. Scott says, yeah, it's finally starting to break my psyche. I have never taken profits, unfortunately, and ride up and down. I'm so doing this different next time around. And that's what you need to learn. Don't get mad at yourself or frustrated. Use the approach you just did, Mrs. Stott. And thanks for being in town for 3+ months with the XP Meteor. You just said, I'll never do this again, which means you're learning from what's happening in the cycle. And you have to go through it yourself. I can speak until I'm blue in the face about taking profits, but until you've been there, it doesn't really matter what I say. Even if you respect me, you're going to do what you do until you understand market psychology. And that goes for everybody, including myself. I had to learn it the hard way. A lot. Fortunately for all of you, I got all of that out of my system before I mostly started this. I still learned a lot doing this. So, I mean, realistically, we've done exactly what we would do even on algo. We had the bearish back test. Like, look how perfect that back test was. And the overall thing is, if you want to talk about the possibility, I wouldn't even go from all the way up there so we don't scare everybody. But the ultimate possibility is we come all the way back down. Like, we come all the way back down and retest that wick. Like, I think that's what's happening. If that's the case, where the hell does XRP actually go? But it may not happen. We can only speculate. It may not happen. Because there are stopping gaps. So I won't just say this is a 100% guarantee or nothing like that. But if you want to go by the wick off, we still got 2 waves down now because now we've confirmed it. And Kat did a phenomenal job. Let me make sure I won't give up any of her information. She was on point. Talking about exactly, she sent me a message. I wanted to share that today because I haven't been on since she sent it. But I wanted to make sure to give her some credit here because she, as usual, was spot freaking on. Let's see where her email is. It was about XRP. Let me see where it's at. Where the heck did this email go? She just sent it. I'm gonna be disappointed if I can't find it. I know it's here. I was just reading it. Let me go to all mail. Maybe it got mixed up. It was just from over the weekend, so it couldn't have gone that far. Let's see. Crap. Hold on, I'm gonna find this. It's important. Why would it have an older one and not the newest one? That's what I don't understand. Okay, let's see. I don't understand where the other one is. I see your Bitcoin one, but you sent me one with XRP perfectly. I actually felt better when I read yours because I'm like, oh my God, this is exactly what I was thinking. And you sent it so perfectly, I can't believe I can't find it. Oh, this is a tragedy. That was so written out, like thoughtfully written out too. Ah, damn it. Kat, if you're here in the audience, could you resend that to me? Unless they mark it as spam or something, but I don't think so. It was just sent too, so I think yesterday. Anyhow, let's get back to this. It would have been a perfect visual representation in a slightly different view of what we've been talking about. And I love to show the audience's interpretations, especially with Kat. She does such a phenomenal job. Like, phenomenal. Yeah, apparently it doesn't want me to show everybody. Because it is not here. That is crazy. Anyhow, let's get back into this. So, that's with algo. Let's go look at the total crypto market cap. The, let's see, others, the total 3, because they're getting slaughtered. Total crypto market cap is all crypto. Remember where my support line is. Now it's a little bit higher, but right now the initial is at 337. The problem with all of this is it's the same thing we'll continue to ask. Is that a rising wedge or a rising triangle? I tend to think that's a rising wedge and we come down to 2.55 trillion. If that's a rising wedge. Rick, thanks for being a very trusted mod in here. Says, please support the stream also so Tom can continue on this amazing stream. Oh, thank you very much. We had a couple people, I think, support. Oh, that very generous Dogecoin and you donated 5 gifted subs. So we're doing okay this morning. We're doing okay this morning. We've got some support from within as well. Maybe we have to heighten the statistics a little bit. Florida attorney welcome in says, please hit the like button. You honky mofos. Thanks. Hey, I appreciate that. Weekly is massively oversold. Even in the total. And the weekly is a good indicator of what's to come soon. But the daily is going to catch up to it. And as that catches up, we'll see if we hold 337. We broke down the 200-day again, which is a horrible sign in the daily. So this is all cryptocurrency. Now, if we go to the total 3, that's all cryptocurrency besides Bitcoin and Ethereum. Our first projection here was 912. And it obviously created a topping reversal, better known as a head and shoulders topping reversal or M-topping reversal pattern here. Now, 912 is the next support. If that doesn't hold, that's a much bigger, because they often say the smaller parts of the pattern mimic what's really going on, right? 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 So that would mean, the good news is, though, if this is the case and we did something like this, you'd still have to build out this side. So maybe there's your alt season. And then, so I really don't want to see that. The good news is we're on this cup and handle. The bad news is we really need to validate it. That's the other problem. We really need to validate the handle. So it should go if we're going to do it. So there's a lot of reasons to be skeptical right now about it, just straight up. And the only reason I was getting mad when everybody said alt season was over is because it never started. The claims can't be made that it never started. We're still in accumulation. And most things, not XRP, but most things we are still in accumulation. So you can't make the argument that alt season's over. You gotta look forward from here. So where's the opportunity? Can we hold 912 billion? I don't know. I doubt it. It's a possibility nonetheless. I mean, I guess we could bounce off of it. But if we hold it, then we can start talking about maybe this is a fake out and we can start pushing 128. But that's everything minus Bitcoin and Ethereum with the total and the total 3. Now we go to others. That's everything outside the top 10. So not having XRP, not having Bitcoin, not having Ethereum, not having like USDT. And I think Chainlink is still in the top 10 or XRP and all these. So you minus all of those. So all of the influential tokens that get most talked about, right? You take those out of the equation. So what are the others doing? Getting crushed. Down 8.37%. Better than 3% more than just the total crypto market cap. Which means more money is still flowing into Bitcoin too much. So the next down is, if this continues on its track, You've got two areas. One is 210. But again, if we break down out of this, then it's 135 and back to 70. I don't think we come way down there. If we're at 76, oh man, this has gone horribly wrong. We're going into a deep crypto winter. Let's just call it for what it is. We get all the noise out of the way because this is all the reasons why we had to go up after these. We've come up to the resistance now. That's the problem. That's the biggest problem is we came up to that resistance and said, in January, okay. And then we came up here and said, and we created like almost like a head and shoulders within this part of the pattern, which means that if it wants to go, okay, we'll reset. So, or it's coming. This is a very, 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 and then you can even do this and be like, wow, Tom, didn't it technically show us that this is the pattern? Yeah, I concur, but I like to do it with everybody, these patterns. So maybe it does come down to 171 then. So, but see, that's how it goes though. So now back to XRP, massively oversold in the 4-hourly. So it would be unlikely to go all the way down without having any kind of bounce back here. Unlikely. In fact, some people, if you're looking, maybe you start to be like, okay, where's the real opportunity here? Maybe this is where it starts. Because 4-hourly is massively oversold, 3-hourly, 2-hourly. I'm looking throughout all of my stuff to see exactly how much I want of everything. How is the fear and greed index in the 40s? That's my biggest problem, being in the 40s. You said it, AUB. Look at that scraping the bottom. That's a right shoulder ending. Oh, you're welcome, William. I'm blessed that you got it, my friend. Hey, Tom, I've been wanting to watch live for a long time now. I'm headed to a job. It's like 2 hours away, so I got a chance. Well, please be safe, my friend, on the road. Piney, be safe. And I admire your hard work. Oh, I know we are. We're not done yet. We're not done. This isn't done. I'm not saying the pattern's done and we have to come down guaranteed. That's not, I'm just saying there's a setup here where it could tug down farther. Like it seems to be, but we don't know yet. We got to see if we come back up and get rejected at 238. It seems like we're zooming in that way. But yeah, on the longer scale, we've got a massive W. We already know this. This is the macro. You're bringing up the macro. We know this. We've been charting this for years. We already know this. This doesn't go away by virtue. We know it's there. We drew it out before it ever happened. I'm not oblivious. I'm just saying there's underneath liquidity now. A lot of liquidity that, and Bitcoin seems like it's got eyes for 98, maybe 92, but at least 98. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if we get some kind of majestic reversal here, because I've seen stranger things. Come into a Monday, have these big dump downs, but this doesn't seem like that's exactly the case. This seems like this is the start of maybe the end, maybe the start of a final couple waves down. It could absolutely be the handle to my cup. Absolutely. And that's what I think could be forming here. That's why dropping to $1.77 to $1.82 makes perfect sense for XRP. From a liquidity standpoint, and then if we can hold there, we got a ball game on. Just like Ethereum, it made sense to come down and backtest this area. We talked about it before. When we came volatilely back up, now it makes sense to come back down and prove that this is the end-all be-all area of support, which would be 35.21, if in fact we're backtesting a breakout. If we came in too early, because technically the end of this move is somewhere around June of 27. For the end of this, for the apex. So if we came out too early, technically, we can start to maybe say that. Maybe we did come out too early. Is that 70% of the move? It kind of looks like it. So there's different ways. So I was waiting to see at 35.21, and we're getting close. We're only $100 away now. But Bitcoin, it's at that exact same, level of, is this where we're going to finally fall through? It's the exact level we've been talking about. 105.790. And now let's see it in real time. Let's go into the weekly or daily. It's easier to just see the real time. Let's just get rid of all these little drawing things, just to make it easier. So this is at 105,806. So if you're looking at that, actually it's a little bit lower because we're looking at what it's starting to build. We started to do something like this. So it can range in between there. We've seen a range start, but if you get below this range, let's see, where's it at? 104.9. It does seem to open up the ability to come down farther. And we got to be very careful with this range because we didn't come back up and break out. We keep getting rejected by right where we should coming back out of this big drop. Even getting a rejection at the 20-day there again is brutal. And I know it seems like it just keeps dropping, but that's by design here now. Since January, crypto's been bearish. Yeah, there's been times of high volatility where we were able to make money. But we've had a 9-month bearish cycle here, almost 10. It's just been in quite the disguise because of Bitcoin going up. And because we came down from the bottom, but we've never cleared that bearish bias. But it's the time of opportunity. You've got to find where the most opportunity makes sense to you. Just like I'm making opportunity that makes the most sense to me. And what makes most sense to me is I want to hold less with more capital in each thing. Instead of having 25 different speculative things, I'd rather keep it condensed to the 3X's. I'd rather keep it condensed to an IOTA, an algo. You know, an epic will be part of that condensation. But I want to keep it condensed into a certain, hey, this base is around and like Linnea, that just sits there. It can go to 0 or it can go all the way to infinity. We're doing a real case study there, valuing it against XRP, and in the interim, it looks like hell. And that was after a 50 or 60% drop. It still looks like, so there's going to be pain in that, but we'll see what happens down the road. But I'm not done. I don't think crypto is done by a long shot. I just think this is the prototypical bullshit we go through. And then we have to find a real opportunity. Yeah, XRP needs the reverse here. It needs to test first $2.38-ish. And then we'll see how it reacts. We'll see how it reacts to 238.76-ish. Well, maybe it's a little bit lower. No, maybe not. Because I always like to see where they like to retest these areas. Oh, now I know I kept it higher. I remember. It was like this. I remember what I did. I came through like this. Duh. That's exactly how we had the breakdown too, why it looked better. Why it actually met up in the perfect spot. That's so crazy how the charts are. So, I was off. 240.8. But if it comes down to the next 4 hour, we'll just move it to like the next push over, like if it takes a little bit. 240. So we'll see. If we don't want this to break further, we're gonna have to push past 240. That's just, I don't even need to keep this anymore. That's irrelevant. We just need to push past there. If we stay below there, and the fact we already got a rejection at 264 is why it becomes a lot. I'm not self-promoting, but it's Tiny Wood Custom Woodworks. You can look us up. Hey, that's okay. You're allowed to do a little strategic self-promoting. So I assume you do custom woodwork. Everybody should check Piney out. Piney's been in here a lot. But please be safe, my friend. Please be safe on that drive. That's quite the tedious drive. Craig says, I have an abusive relationship with XRP. It'll never happen to me. I can change it. Thanks for being in Town for 6+ months with the XP Predictor and having a sense of humor. You're welcome, Piney. I don't mind our hard workers in the community trying to help out other people in the community. In fact, if we could do it right, we would have a self-contained community where we have a whole bunch of independent workers just built within. I know it brings a lot of opportunity to different fields. Like, that's the expansion you can make on a community that has 47,000 people in it. That's the ultimate dream. Because then we have a self-propelling self. It would be like a self-informing, self-charting, you know, self-promoting kind of thing. And then you just kind of have your own little ecosystem. It's like your own peer-to-peer network. It's not me, it's XRP. Oh yeah, I know. Well, that's crypto. That's crypto. Now we can see these majestic back tests. I'm very interested. I want to see if this was just a quick drop. Or if we get the rejection. Because we don't even know. We don't even know where this is a speculative rejection that we came up with based on what it's trying to show us. These are speculative at best. But it's all we had to work with. Now, because it could very well turn into this, you know, because we don't know. But now, a good area of interest, because you could even do it like this. This is why I find, like, more people would buy into this, because you could literally be like, oh, well, we just start here and we make another one. And then we go like that and we go, oh, okay, we might have formed a little channel there on the return. But the way I like to look at it is more like this, because then it gives it a little bit of, hey, you know, maybe we did have something go, oh, wait. So I always like to do stuff like this. It makes me happy. And then you take the wick in front, wick in back. Let this be a little overzealous bounce that may start a new pattern and then see what happens. And we already have one hit here on the wick. One hit there on the wick. So if it pushes out like this, you know, I mean, we'll see. We'll just see. We'll see. This is the fun. This is where I have the most fun. Because this is where my mind's working on overdrive for opportunity. Like real opportunity. I just need some time to figure myself out, XRP. I don't know. I just think XRP needed to take a break. It's tired, man. It went from 50 cents to $3.50 in such a short amount of time. And even with its break, man, it's still overzealous. It packed on too many carbs and it ate too much of its own weight. It went from 50 cents and even today it's at $2.35 1 year later. It's tired. It's exhausted. It's overextended. Imagine you were running a marathon or you were doing something or you're working a job and you went from, you know, 50, you're on average, you're doing 50 different things on average. You got 50 things being built a week. And now for the last 6 months, you're building 250 things a week. You're getting tired, man. Then it's I got to drop down and it's no fault of your own. You're just overinflated to the top side. You're just tired. Your body's breaking down. XRP was overinflated just like the rest of crypto. That's okay. That means that there's even more opportunities coming if that's the case. Because now everybody's legitimately going to bash their head through the freaking wall. Because unfortunately, I don't think we came down here not to take all the liquidity in the market. But I mean, we did come through. When we refreshed this, we did come through. Well, maybe not on this chart, but we definitely came through on the others. Crypto fear, this is the other thing, like how? And some asked me the question, how can crypto fear and greed index only be this low? That's part of the problem. It's at 42. It's going to go lower. I just want to break, not breaking up, just taking a break. XRP. Oh, I love it. Cannabis Podcast. Thanks for Ian Townsend for 6+ months with the XP Predictor. Does a very good job on herbal healing. So make sure you give him a chance on YouTube. Around that 500 subscriber threshold. Beautiful. Tom is like the realistic friend you don't listen to. I agree, Craig. I agree. But it's nice because on a day like today, you know, we still have 147 people here, an hour and 20 minutes into the live. We were up to like 175 maybe. But looking at all of this, I tend to like where the commodities in time here for I think next year is going to be a good year for gold and silver gun and commodities. No, I haven't used them. But yeah, we got to go through the cycle now. Got to go through the cycle. I'm going to continue to watch this semiconductor. I'm going to continue to watch Seals Q. Because if it does have a big drop now, we're going to watch it on the back test. If it does, in fact, come all the way down or see how it reacts to the uptrend at 586. But the Fed seems to be meticulously setting up something weird here. Now, I do like the fact that the Fed did print some money, which could be some injection of capital. And what do they like to do? They like to crash the markets before so they can inject the capital. That's a good thing. That's definitely a good thing. So it's not all bad. All I'm saying is I've got money to the side so that I can figure out the exact spot that I want to delegate into this market a little bit strategically different. But within the same strategy, of course. So it's just what comes next. It's what comes next. Because I see 10% drops across the board, but what my mind's telling me is you could see 25, 30% if this plays out from here. So I want to see some validation. Anytime I've heard that when XRP takes off, the government will be able to. That's my biggest problem. I've been talking about the regulations at the end of 2028, and that's exactly what they're going to be able to do, and they will do at some point. So I keep saying crypto was supposed to be an unregulated space. Now it's becoming more regulated than the stock market, especially after Trump gets out of office, not because he's some saving grace, but because they catered the false illusion that he's the crypto president now, even though he was vehemently against it in his first run, if you remember. And now they can slide in crypto regulations and the ruse that they're helping us. For the first time in history, they're actually our friend and doing what's best for us. Does that make any sense, or are we crazy? So that's why I think crypto runs its course in 2028 by the end. Q2 or Q3 quantitative easing will give us the huge juice. Got cooked better. Yep, that's exactly what I agree. I agree, Matteo. That's what that huge injection is going to be. Exactly what we need. It's just that doesn't happen immediately. So last time we started buying in March of 23 when they announced the switch from tightening to easing. It took about 3 or 4 months before we finally had. So it took from March of 23, and then all of a sudden in July, XRP went 1x. It took a few months. It had consistent up and down, side to side, a little bit lower, a little bit higher. But then the money met. You know, it all met. I feel really good about what's happening right now. Like, really good about what's happening, if I'm being honest. Because now I can see that this is showing us a direction. Like for Band, now we can see how it reacts possibly at this 40 cents. I think that's where it's at if we go all the way back. Nope, a little bit higher. See, this is because of the phone. Oh, fuck, we're at the make it or break it point now. That's interesting. Yeah, so pay attention how this reacts. Big time. Pay attention. We are really at this make it or break it level on a lot of these. This is great. Wow, because then we can start to see, because that was the pattern that was set up for a while, and then you can start to see, like, maybe it's extended itself out a little bit. Maybe it did. If it extended itself out, this is going to be crazy. I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm just saying if it doesn't finish that move to the top, and that was a fake out just to draw liquidity, this... And it's not, you can't just say it's one thing. This is what the market's starting to dictate towards, which is sucks. XPR Proton's another good example. We had this drawn out, and if it broke up, but we don't know. It was so overbought now. It got bought up big time in these 2 runs. This looks like it could be a double top. So we need this to break out. If it breaks down, it's going to reset this whole thing. And then it's almost going to be like, and this is going to be the crazy part. If this did, let's just say this broke down. It starts to come back in here. You see how it did this? Went way up. It could just start printing back along. And then it would have, you know, something like this where it broke out, back down. You could see that because you could start building, you know, some kind of, hey, this is just a handle, back tested the beautiful setup. And then now that it's dropped all the way back down, everybody kind of looks away and then boom. I know, Frankie Fresh. I still remember your whole, and a lot of people who bought that big rise up after it consolidated. That's when I was trying vehemently to tell the audience, like, I know these look like they're the buy the dips, but they only look like they're the buy the dip because it went up to $1.30 or 40 or whatever, and then it was down so much. That's by design, unfortunately. That's liquidity setup. That's why I keep going across these, because I want everybody to really see, like, a real visual interpretation of, like, what could actually happen here, because this could happen. These could happen. Especially if they're setting up something grander. That's the crazy thing. It could be setting up for the grander move, but it's dangerous right now. This whole thing looks scary. And Lania, like I told everybody, it's like I could sell it as a group and just wait to see what happens. But the whole point of having that was supposed to be a case study we added to along the way. So, I mean, we got a decision to make. I mean, it's up to everybody. But I'm under the impression that we just do what we said. But what do I know? If it's going to come all the way back to 006-ish, and that's a 50% drop off from at the bottom of 1084. My yard now, is it best to hold? Is it just best to hold position? Nobody can tell you that but yourself, honestly. Because I don't know what kind of profit you... Some people are up hundreds of percent. Some people are down 70%. I mean, it's all... If you're holding it, you have to have the understanding that if we drop out 20% or 30%, which isn't guaranteed by any means, but if something like that ends up playing out where this doubles the drop, and now you're looking at a 25% drop, you know, you wanna buy more. That's why I said with Linnea, if it drops out from here, the goal would be like we talked about before in layers, another $1,000 or $800 or whatever it would be added to it, and then you just keep building as it drops to the core. But that's different because we're trying to do a study there. Normally I wouldn't do that, but because everybody in the copy gets mad when it's in and out and things like that, we were trying to do it a different way. But guidelines say handle should be within 50% of cup. Yeah, I don't mind that, but there's always exceptions to the rules, Mr. Trades, as you see using the wick off every day. It's not all cut and dry, even though sometimes it seems like it is. But yeah, by rule, that's a pretty fair way to say it. 50% of the cup would be the handle. That's fair. And thanks for being a trusted mod in here and in the Telegram. Actually has his own channel in the MQ. His own set. Well, you guys can go in there and check it out if you want. And Tom's Army. Down a bunch on Denton Band. Get that a lot. I get that a lot. That's why I've been more of the... I'm taking opportunity, and then when it gets to certain points, I'll let it show me opportunity. And I didn't sell the tops of anything, just like I didn't buy the very bottoms of anything on the drop. But I bought it at a fair spot to where I could sell it at a fair spot and didn't have to worry about the in-between and let it just sit on these orders. But this is a shit fight. This is a... Sorry, this is like a... This is a... Oh, Lannia's the one that I'm down on because I did it with the group and I'm just letting it kind of go by level. But that's the one that will be the exception to my rule just because it's... Can't really do anything about it. It's a long-term thing that we wanted to see years down the road. So if we're going to do that, you got to see the losses up front if you go into certain areas. The unfortunate part is like when I bought it back, it was at 009-ish. And now when I bought it with the group, it was at 1... Well, I mean, we're up 18%. And that's when I talked about we could sell it. But it became the more like, let's ride and let's buy more when it goes down farther. And that's the mindset I'm going to have with that. Lonzo, the upside is... Oh, yeah, MQ's awesome. I was watching it all. This is amazing time to be dollar cost averaging. The upside is already set. Everybody just make your own guesses. That's why we come here to watch Tom make our own guess. No, that's honestly what always happens. A lot of times, that's how a lot of people miss the information because it goes from, you know, I put out what I think, and then not to the ones who know that technical is a lot better that can help, but the ones that come in and then they just put their own opinion but don't understand really what's going on. And then it starts to split the mindset because then my information gets passed up a lot. It's pretty interesting. Confidence, Lonzo, exactly. Don't break your confidence or confidence. There's no reason to. We're just watching these consolidations. We know what we think is going to happen. Because I'm looking to see what opportunity I want. If we were to break back and overtake, that's where I would want to see the opportunity. Look at that nice little recovery looking in the Dow, at least right now, on the interim. But we'll see if these are just, hey, we're coming to grab some liquidity and we're going to break out real quick, because that is a possibility. No, my yard now, there's nothing wrong with taking 50% liquid. Absolutely zero wrong. None. In fact, even if it went up, you would feel that saving grace because now you have opportunity. But I don't think there's anything wrong with having 50% on the sideline right now. The floors are a lot closer than the upside. Take deep breaths, people. I will be doing things with XDC, yes. Unfortunately, XDC broke my hold line, so everybody knows I had the limit set, and unfortunately it didn't hold it. So the next opportunity for me was to look right here around 5.28. So then that's what I'm going to do. And I've lessened the load on other things that broke the similar structure, to where I'm now liquid in those positions like Band and Dent and some of the, like Epic. They all broke the structure. So now I've got to decide what I want to get of each and how much of each, because I do think this next time around I'll make a minimum purchase of 200,000 XDC. Like I said, I'm going to have at least 80,000 minimum of IOTA, at least 50,000 minimum of Algo. You know, these are what I have to, at least 10,000 Epic. These are just things in my head that I had that will be there. So I'm looking at this deeper. Like the 3 X's have to be there. XRP, XLM, XDC. Probably XLM somewhere around 30,000 tokens. XDC around 200,000. Because I think where it ends up or where it's going to go, it'll have more upside, I think, than XLM. But you never know. I have all 3. It depends how far down H-bar goes. And all these other things. It just depends. I don't try to let my own emotion deal with it. I have lines in the sand, and when they cross them, I don't think about it. It just, things happen, and then I have to live with it. So, crypto can butt you up. Crypto can eat you up and spit you up if you trade and invest based on emotion and feelings. Absolutely, Scotty trades. That's why I do it in my own strategic way that might not align with anybody else's. And then at the end of the day now, you sit here looking at it and you're like, hey, I'm in control right now. I'm in control. Like, I'm in control of the market because there's a lot of long liquidations because a lot of people like leverage. There's a lot of people getting, you know, into a position where they're overextended, which that is another problem. Like the overextension, taking money out of your savings to trade crypto, because I used to do it when I was an investor. Which I wasn't. I was just a gambler at that point because I'm taking money I needed, knowing that I've only got a short shelf life. Have you been in this position? I've got $4,000 for the monthly bills. I've got 22 days until I have to pay them. Let me put it in the stock market, and hopefully I can make a return. And then what ends up happening? You lose $50. Like, oh my God, I'm down $50 and now I can't pay the bills. So then you might lead down, oh my God, I got to make up that $50, and you might be like, oh, I'm going to put 50 or 100 and try to make it back. And then it's a never-ending death spiral. It's a never-ending death spiral. So the way I look at this is I've got 639. You know, a nice amount of capital to the side right now. Let's just put it that way. I don't want to say the exact amount. But I started with, like $5,000 in this community. Let's just say on the sidelines, just for this, when it gets to, or does what I think I want it to do, or tells me a message, there's like 10 times that can be invested. That are strategically placed throughout different exchanges, whether tier 1, or like WeX, or, you know, TOOBIT, or BitUnix, the few thousand there still. So there's strategy that I have set up. And I want to see how this market reacts. Now the market comes to us again. But I do think we're rather oversold here, so we have to get some kind of upward volatility. XRP, I'd be looking at that $2.40 area. Maybe it gets hit by 238 or 7, but that 240 seems to be a reasonable spot. But I'm going to be very interested to see how this day plays out and this week plays out. Because we're getting close to something different here. And the faster we go down, the quicker we can start the next phase. Like, Bitcoin does seem to reek of 98K here. It really does. All of these seem like they really could push to that next area. I almost think now we have to start focusing on the daily time frame where we're sitting at the stochastic, because that's what's telling us. We can have these small moves, but the daily right now is telling us, hey, we're still a little bit. We got rejected by the trend line. Now we very well should come to oversold. Oh, this could get brutal. It's already getting brutal, but it could get brutal. I still remember that gap right here at 92, right around 92 for that fair value gap on Bitcoin. So I'm of the illusion that maybe if it comes to 98, that's not all it's going to do. But we'll see if 104, 364 doesn't give way. That's good, obviously. But it does look like we formed, like maybe almost like boom, boom, but like it almost looks. But we'll see. It already hit my market top for this part of the setup for Bitcoin. That's what I've been very transparent. For my target, I had 122, 186. And it came up to like 126. So it exceeded my expectation by a few thousand. But once that happened, I'm like, uh-oh. Because now it's even over my projected target. I firmly believe this will be a week to remember. Scotty says, yep, that's him, and you have heard me say that over and over. Glad to be a part of Team Tom. I'm proud to have you part of Team Tom. I need you. I need people like you, Mr. Trades. A fitting name. I firmly believe this will be a week to remember. Huge things coming. Wait for the indictments. Scotty, so, okay, you're speaking more into the other part of the realm here, like the news that could probably be coming here. So are you under the illusion, as some may be, maybe myself indeed, that maybe, just maybe, we're going to actually get this kind of like orchestrated, not just with crypto, but orchestrated movement? Do you think it's possible that they might raise rates in December? I'm just curious. I don't know. I don't know if they would actually have the stones to do it. I don't know if they would have the stones, to be honest. But it would make for an interesting discussion going forward. But we've been on for an hour and a half. I fully intend on doing a live tonight so we can see how this shakes out. Hopefully we'll get some upward volatility to kind of give us more direction. Like, I think it needs to happen here after such a nice shakeout. Not even shakeout, but such a nice downward tug. Now we need to see if this move gets validated further, or if we can start to slowly climb back up. Craig Carlson says, Warren Buffett is holding more cash than ever. Something big is going to happen to the downside. Every giant company is more cash on the side for it not. I know. That's the other part of it. A lot of these major players have more cash than they've had for a very long time on the sidelines. And it's an interesting, that's interesting. Interesting. We've got a very interesting time. Raising rates would give Trump an excuse for firepower. I know. Here, I'll post it. So, my yard now, all you have to do, and I'll do this right now, go to the members only section of Tom, and on my XRP Future Millionaire page, I'll give you step-by-step guidance in just a sec. Once I share this again, it just take 1 second. But I have to hide it behind the members only on YouTube because we had too many scammers come in, which they'll probably still try to come in because that's just the way it goes. But we have protocols in place. Make sure you read through it all. Just Scotty Trade C, you unfortunately like me, you are thinking that ulterior way that they're going to do things, and I would blindside a lot of people, I think. But I firmly, the more I think about it, the more I can totally see it happening. And it would give the perfect reasoning to go into deep quantitative easing, deep rate cuts into January. Because once they raise it, everything's going to collapse. It's going to implode. You think it was bad when we had the quarter basis point rate cut? Imagine if they do a quarter base point rate hike and something is being. Yep, something's happening. That's why for me, Scotty, my spot, I'm trying to buckle down on the ones that I firmly want to have the most firm of grasp on and put myself in a spot where I have the weight that I want in them instead of having small weight and other things. I've got this. Last night I had a dream, and it's a pretty weird dream, and I don't know why it even makes sense to what we're talking about, but it kind of does. But basically, I had a dream, and I was on a plane, which I don't want to ever go on a plane again because I've had visions that I die on a plane, and ever since I was young. So, probably don't think I'm going to be taking plane rides anytime soon. But on the plane, we're just flying. I don't know who was on the plane. I don't know who anybody was. And all of a sudden, it's just underwater. Like it crashes down. And ironically, when I was sleeping, it was right when the process of the market crash started happening. So maybe it was my mind playing the market crashing. But we're underwater, and I can see everything so vividly out the windows. Could see the bottom of the ocean floor as we're, for whatever reason, just going forward like a runway on the bottom of the ocean's floor. And we just keep going, and you can see everything. And the only thought I had was, okay, I'm going to die right now, but I want to see what happens next. Like, that's all I had. So then that moment happened, and I could feel it. Like, all right, everything imploded. The windows came in, crushed, and there was no feeling, but it just everything changed. And then you could start to see, like, almost like a spiritual way. And right when that started happening, I woke up, and I was like, damn it. That was going somewhere. That was going somewhere. But it wasn't about me dying in a crash necessarily, but there was something deeper to that something was going on in my subconscious. But so who asked for let's see, my yard. So if you go here now, I just shared the link in the members only section, which you can get to. Go here. I can't click on the membership part, but you see how it says home, video, shorts, live, playlist, post, membership, and store? Well, there is no store, I don't think. Winter Essentials. Oh, yeah. I forgot about this stuff. This is winter stuff, I guess. I don't know. That's been in there for years. I never even did anything. They said, do you want to do something? So that was Christmas. Well, I'll be damned. Well, nobody's ever bought anything out of the store, but I didn't even know that there was a store. Oh, now I ruined it. But in the post section, next to membership, that's where the post will be. Now someone's going to come in because I accidentally showed the link. Oh, believe it. It's crazy how they splice it and do things. Yeah, I'm not going to send you a message. So if somebody tries acting like me, first make sure of the spelling and everything. But I'm not going to send you a message. You would have to send me one first to even have contact. Unless it's within the community. Tom will donate me a job. Let's see what else. I'm buying the one on base. What did I miss? X402 is a chance for latecomers to be early. Total market is less than $1 billion right now. What the hell is payments protocol and is rumored to scale 30 trillion by 2030? Interesting. X402, huh? X402.
Sometimes the same thing might not be the right thing, especially when it comes to your investing strategy.
Is that well, I'm assuming it would be somewhere on there, but I'll have to look into this deeper later. X402. Whoops. But yeah, I'm gonna end this. It's about that time. We've been on for a long time watching this market shake and bake. Which was once everyone collapsing and crashing liquidity price. Time getting close to 238 tests. Yes, it is. I confirm the address to AI. It's a lot of scams out of it. That's the problem. A lot of scams. Hello, Julie. in Tom's Army for over 3 years with the XRP Diamond Hands badge. Actually got gifted a sub yesterday. There was somebody gifted a sub and it randomly went to Julie, which is awesome because she was in Tom's Army since the beginning. And then in January, her card, which I don't even think she ever got a new card yet, needed to be, she had to get a new one because I think it was outdated.
Let us grab some charts, but as a living rhythm,
Let's see.
rather than interpreting market rules.
And Julie is my significant other. If nobody knows that by now. But anyhow, it's been a great live. We had an hour and 40 minutes. She's probably like, why is it so long this morning? Why is it taking forever? No, she doesn't care. More rest for her. But yeah, let's see. We're coming up to this first area. If I make any exploding moves of anything, of any kind, I'll let you know. But right now, I just see myself sitting with the cash and waiting to see how this plays out. Either way. And hopefully we can take the majestic upward approach. The whole majestic.
Cost of goods and materials that they rely on in their business. Just as we are during the pandemic, we think scenario planning.
So yeah, what a great day. What a great day. We're going to get some directives. See, we're going to get some directive. Hopefully we'll be back later and everybody will be back. Be blessed, everybody, and be safe. Be prepared. Most importantly, be